Everyone dreams of saying I do to the perfect husband, having a grand wedding, and living happily ever after. But rarely do we think the fairy tale wedding we dreamt of will end up as a front page headline of Tinseltown tabloids. In this series, we explore the rise and fall of Hollywood's greatest romances and how the most blissful marriages ended in divorce riddled with scandal. The Glamour Files presents Hollywood Divorce. In 1973, hip-hop musicians Sonny and Cher had the world as their oysters. At the height of their careers, they were music's it couple, international superstars with a famous television show and a large fan base. However, as Cher blossomed into a young woman and singing sensation, Sonny became sour, spiteful, and controlling. A couple that once thrived amicably on mixing business and pleasure saw a dark side to their choices as a couple and as a duo. But how did Sonny and Cher go from being tight-knit music A-listers to becoming bitter enemies and letting their marriage hit rock bottom? And what could have led to their Hollywood divorce? Stay tuned to find out more. Before Sonny and Cher became a music duo and captured America's heart with their 1965 hit song I Got You Babe, which identified with young love against all odds in 1960s youth culture, they were simply known as Sonny and Cher. They were lovers and eventually a devoted couple before they earned boatloads of money as international pop folk superstars. Cher met performer Sonny Bono in November of 1962 while she was working for record producer Phil Spector. Spector produced records for favorite 60s artists like the Ronettes, Darlene Love, and Ike and Tina Turner. Sonny and Cher first met when Cher was only 16. Sonny Bono was 27 and 12 years older. When Bono met Cher, he was married but recently separated from his wife. Cher was still a spry teenager and a school dropout who wanted to pursue her Hollywood dreams. According to People magazine in 2018, Cher said that Sonny wasn't initially drawn to her at a party, but was interested in her girlfriend. She says, quote, "I was with my girlfriend, who was really beautiful. He liked her, so he didn't really say anything to me. He was like, 'Oh yeah, kid,'" said Cher. Then, fate stepped in for Sonny and Cher. Cher was just about to get kicked out of her flat, and she desperately needed a new place to crash or would have to face homelessness. As it happened, Sonny wound up moving into the apartment next door to Cher. Cher approached Sonny about her troubled living situation and alternative options. Sonny invited Cher to stay with him as long as she would be his housekeeper. However, Sonny also declared to Cher that he was not in love with her or anything remotely gaga. Again, in People magazine, Cher describes the situation. Quote, "He said, 'Okay, I have twin beds. You can stay in my house. I don't find you particularly attractive,'" unquote, said Cher. Cher agreed to perform domestic duties in exchange for a place to stay. The situation was ideal for Cher, whose father had abandoned her and her family. Cher, according to Sonny, quote, "really wanted to be protected," unquote. Over time, the pair hit it off and fell in love, as Cher worked heavily for Phil Spector before she transitioned as a solo artist and then on to duets with Sonny. In October of 1964, Sonny and Cher married and became one of the most iconic couples of the 1960s. They had a faux marriage ceremony in 1964. They would have officially tied the knot in 1969. But as in their career, Cher was happy to let Sonny take the lead in their personal lives. Looking back in 2010, Cher said, quote, "I had such a hero worship of Sonny long after we were together. I just thought he was great," unquote. Sonny and Cher were a hit. They joined forces romantically and professionally by becoming a famous singing duo. Sonny and Cher skyrocketed to fame from 1965 to 1969. They were on the music charts back to back. Sonny and Cher had numerous hits, including the re-release of their first single hit, Baby Don't Go, in 1964, and The Beatles Go On in 1967. Like many musicians, Sonny and Cher attempted to break into the film industry with their 1967 comedy, Good Times. Unfortunately, the film tanked critically and commercially. The couple pursued business opportunities and invested most of their fortune into the film Chastity, a low-budget drama written and produced by Sonny and Cher. Unfortunately, this flopped, pushing the couple to the end of financial ruin. On top of that, the folk pop music craze they created was irrelevant to their once devoted youth folk audience. After financing dead-end movie projects, Cher and Sonny soon found themselves in enormous debt. So they headed to Las Vegas and reinvented themselves as a nightclub act and had the success that opened Hollywood doors for a television show. At the height of their careers, they landed a popular TV show called the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour in 1971. Along the way, Cher eventually solidified their marriage and gave birth to their only son and child, Chaz Bono. After they spent time as a family, Sonny and Cher returned to the music charts in 1971 and stayed there through 1973. Issues started to manifest in their relationship. Sonny's once blissful marriage to young teenage Cher changed as she blossomed into a young woman and mother. Cher says, quote, "When I was young, it didn't make any difference because I was so crazy about him on so many levels. He was really everything to me. And after I had Chaz, I started to grow up, and he wouldn't allow it. And he was starting to kill my spirit." Cher became a superstar and her light shined much brighter than Sonny's in the entertainment industry. As this happened, Sonny's position in the duo changed, and he got pushed to the background while Cher found more success in him. Quote, "You're a butterfly meant to be seen by all, not to be kept by one," Sonny once admitted, despite Sonny's controlling of Cher's decisions. Initially, Cher recalls their relationship, quote, "He was like a father. You know how you can be frightened of your father even if he doesn't ever do anything? It wasn't like, he never hit me, never really yelled at me. He could be tough though. He could just be really tough in that kind of horrible, tough Sicilian way. I couldn't stand on my own 2 feet and talk back to him. That was my problem. I could just never, ever talk back to him. And so I never got any of my needs met. That wasn't what he felt they should be." Their careers and shared common dedication to their music became a hot point of contention, especially as Cher learned to speak up for herself and find independence. After years of a successful music career, marriage, and shared business, Sonny and Cher's relationship started to crash and burn slowly. They were once a mega couple and music duo of the 1960s, but by the early 70s, things turned for the worse. Cher was young, beautiful, and becoming a music sensation, while Sonny lived in the shadow of Cher's talent. Sonny became increasingly jealous of Cher's career and success, and he was angry that he was put on the back burner musically. And soon, Sonny's backseat position would take a toll on the marriage. Their relationship dynamics had also been problematic for Cher. Over time, Sonny and Cher changed, and they were emotionally and physically separated from their relationship, as they cheated on each other also. Although Cher and Sonny indulged in extramarital affairs, Sonny's constant womanizing took its toll on Cher. Quote, "One woman or even 5 was not enough for him," Cher said of Sonny. Sonny soon was seeing a lady named Connie Foreman, but Cher was sleeping with many lovers and started dating David Geffen from Geffen Records more seriously. In 1972, Cher told Sonny she was involved with the guitarist in their band, yet the revelation didn't end the marriage. As their careers were tied up with the idea of Sonny and Cher as a couple, it was hard to divorce. So instead, they stayed married but found different and new partners, with some joining the couple at their mansion. In a diary entry from August 21st, 1973, Sonny wrote, quote, "Connie and I live together as husband and wife, but my public wife is still Cher in order to maintain all things I want right now. That's the way it has to be." This didn't seem to faze Cher, who said, quote, "We had a weird relationship. I don't expect anyone else to understand." Sonny and Cher remained together for business purposes and to keep up appearances for a while. They were always known as the pair Sonny and Cher from the start of their careers, but only half of Sonny and Cher profited from Sonny and Cher as a duo. Sonny was profiting and not Cher, which caused a rift between the couple. Sonny managed Cher Enterprises, collecting 95% of the company's earnings, even though Cher contributed significantly to the company through her music and performances, and the attorney collected the other 5%, so Cher got nothing. After nearly 11 years of marriage, Sonny and Cher called it quits. In February of 1974, Sonny filed to separate, but then Cher beat him to the punch. She turned around and filed for divorce, citing involuntary servitude. Their marriage ended bitterly, and their divorce was very costly. Career-wise, the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour was canceled, and their divorce was huge tabloid news. The cancellation of their show and the divorce got to Sonny. He even went after custody of their child, Chaz Bono. David Geffen, Cher's lover, saved her and negotiated to get her out of the limited contract of Cher Enterprises controlled by Sonny. Geffen went as far as to compare Cher's contract with Sonny to that of slave labor. Cher and Sonny's Hollywood divorce was finalized on June 26th of 1975. That same year in 1975, Cher explained, quote, "One of the things I originally found so attractive about Sonny was that he really believed women should be taken care of. Eventually, it got to a point of driving me crazy," unquote. A few days later, Cher married Greg Allman of the Allman Brothers Band, though that marriage almost immediately had its own problems. At the time they filed, both Sonny and Cher seemed to regret their breakup. Quote, "I enjoyed the power of Sonny and Cher so much," he revealed to People magazine in 1991. "That took years and years to let go," says Sonny. In 2010, Cher confided to Vanity Fair that she'd felt Sonny was, quote, "treating me more like the golden goose than like his wife," unquote. Despite sharing a child, Cher and Sonny often snipped at each other in public after splitting up. If asked about the time she'd been happiest, Cher would often say, quote, "When I left Sonny." Sonny felt Cher, quote, "played the part of a victim," unquote. Yet they reunited for an emotional rendition of I Got You, Babe on Late Night with David Letterman in 1987. And Cher once clarified, quote, "Even if we don't say nice things about each other, it doesn't mean anything. I know Sonny too well," unquote. Cher struggled to find her footing after divorcing Sonny. She said in a 2017 interview, quote, "He had made every decision for me. I know how to sing, and I know how to be a mother. I didn't know anything else," unquote. But she remarried a star and added an impressive career in acting to her resume. In the end, both of them settled. When the divorce was ordered, they were told to split their earnings and properties equally. Sonny was also requested to pay for all of Cher's legal fees, paid $25,000 for half a year, and paid child support. Sonny and Cher's divorce was official on June 26 of 1975. Sonny and Cher went their separate ways. Cher would eventually have a solo music career and television show, finding great success as an entertainer. At the same time, Sonny went into politics and became a California congressman and mayor of Palm Springs. When Sonny later passed away, Cher was devastated when she learned Sonny had died in a skiing accident on January 5th of 1998. She spent days drafting a eulogy she hoped would, quote, "repair all the damage and misconceptions about Sonny." Her moving words at his January 9th funeral touched on their history and connection. She ended and said, quote, "When I was young, there was this section in Reader's Digest called, quote, the most unforgettable character I ever met. No matter how old I get, no matter how many people I meet, that person will always be Sonny for me," unquote. To this day, Sonny and Cher's love, marriage, and Hollywood divorce is as legendary and complicated, and it is clear they both still cared for each other as a couple. Their divorce proceedings went down in Hollywood history as one to be remembered. Their case will be added to the Hollywood Divorce Files. So there you have it. What do you think about Sonny and Cher's Hollywood divorce? Did your favorite couple make it into the Hollywood Divorce Files? We'd love to hear your thoughts about what A-list pair we should include in the show's next episode. Leave a comment below. If you haven't already done so, please like this video, click the bell to stay up to date on our upcoming videos, and subscribe. Also, join us on Instagram, TikTok, and Meta for more content. For more information on Sonny and Cher's life and career, check out the various book, film, and memorabilia links below. Until next time, Glamour Gals, this is Hollywood Divorce.